Hey loves, this is Girl Talk for Lover Girls sub-series built for lasting love. Today is Thursday. Every Thursday is about love. Today it's for the girlies. Video 3. How a man moves through life matters. Watch how he lives. Daily behavior shows true character. So, the day-to-day is so crucial. So crucial. Like how he lives, your lives will literally come together. And how he already shows up in his own world every day, taking care of himself, putting outputs in the world, providing to society in some way, or not any of those. This is so crucial for who this person is and their character. And same as you, how you show up in this world, who you are. Both sides, for men and for women, are so crucial. We must understand this. This is something you learn before you go on the first date. 100%. You ask about, like their job. What do they do for fun? Like, what does their day-to-day look like? What are their routines? Like, this is super important because this can, you start to picture it as like when you guys are married and you're having children. How you meet up with someone is what you're accepting. So he doesn't really have to change if he doesn't want to, because you accepted him for where you found him. So it means you're okay with it too, or you're living similar. And then in that case, you guys are the same, so then it is a match. But if what he's doing does not align with what you're doing or what you want for your future, then this is immediately, you don't meet up in person at all. You can even ask through texting. You don't even have to go on a first call with him. You can skip this and avoid this altogether, and it saves you time and energy and him time and money, because you're not wasting his life either by going on a date with him. You see what I'm saying? So, the daily behavior is super important for your life partner, someone that you're going to actually put both worlds together and hope that everything is seamless and perfect and happy and passionate and loving. And so that is our first point for today. Consistency matters more than words. How he lives is who he is. Consistency. This is so important because your words are like fairy tales, like anyone's words. It just feels like they can make you feel like just $1,000,000, like your best version, like an angel. They can make you feel like out of this world. But if their consistency isn't there, and it's like their actions with their words aren't aligning, and it's not consistent, then it's just all talk. And that person just either doesn't know or is just playing games with your heart, your soul, and your time. And don't let them play with your time, your soul, and your energy. We only have so much time on planet Earth. We do not want people, or men in this case, to take from us. And they're not our person. They're wasting our time, whether they don't know that or not, whether they're completely innocent or not. We need to be aware of their words and their actions and their consistency, which is more important than any of those two things. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Because words, you can get that from any man. You can get that from any friend, family member. Anyone can give you all the words and make you feel good. But that person that's your life partner, that's there with raising children, it needs consistency. And that's what differentiates from other people and why this one's better than this one. So we must be aware from the beginning about consistency. Is this person consistent with their words and their actions? And simply just who they are also. Number 3, stress reveals integrity. How do they react when they're in stress? Watch and observe who they are, who they become, how they treat you. This says a lot about someone, whether they know it or not. Everyone gets stressed. Everyone goes through hard times. And when you guys are in a marriage and have children, it actually gets like tenfold. You have so much more to worry about. You have so much more to do. You have to balance and manage so many things consistently, or they like fade away, or they start to break down, and like everything starts to get ruined because you need to fuel something for it to grow and to be healthy. You need to focus and have attention to something, or it dies, right? So because of that, if you're already noticing these things now, when it's just them by themselves, they don't even have a partner, and they don't even, like, you know what I mean? Once they get you, then you have the kids, and then, like, their job, like, you never know, anyone can lose their job at any point. Like, if it's already like this, how is it going to be like, it's not going to make it? You're going to have so much stress in the future. Your life will be miserable. You will eventually want to get divorced. If you're religious, you won't, but you will be miserable. And you guys will have ups and downs like crazy until eventually you guys maybe mature and can get out of that, if you can even survive it. And then mostly, obviously, statistic rates, people divorce. So we prevent all of this. We don't even marry someone who can't control themselves, like who don't understand how to release stress in a healthy way. And they understand themselves so well based off their childhood and their past traumas. Because when a man has done that work, he's kind of untouchable and invincible, and he's very powerful. And you want a man like that to lead your children in the future, because your son and your daughter will see that every single day in the household for all of the years that they live with you, and then stay with you for your whole life, obviously, like it's family. But especially when you guys are living in the same household, raising children. Children are smart. They pick up and see everything, just like women do too. So because of this, we need to be aware and just watch. So don't even just think of the good times. He can be so amazing. He could be at like everything. You're just like, wow. But the moment stress or something intense happens, if he switches, that is a sign. He can't even help it but show his true colors, because maybe what you're seeing could be something that he's just really good at marketing to you, because he wants love too. We all want love. We all want to have our life partner and get to the most ultimate goal, which is like our lover, the person we're going to like share the rest of our lives, that we can trust with everything, have babies with. This is the ultimate dream. And it's so sacred. Everyone wants that, and some might market themselves really well. But behind closed doors, when they're by themselves in their rooms, looking at themselves in the mirror, we don't know what goes through men's heads. So the only way for women to decide whether this is the man to like, literally, like, we have to see these. We have to see him for who he is. Every single moment of, like, in every way, capacity. And then we choose to accept that or not. If that's something we choose to allow and that we want our children to be raised by. Because if you choose to accept that, then your children are going to have to accept that as well, whether they like it or not. So you have to think about that. Is that enough to be like, or is everything else providing, like, you feel like that's okay? That's up to you, depending on the levels of whatever comes out of someone when they're stressed or when something bad happens, right? For me, I just don't want that, because my childhood was that way. I rewired my brain, so I don't want to repeat patterns. And so I will find a man who, that's me though. So this is your time to kind of understand this. Just watch if this is something you feel like you're okay with or you're not okay, but just be aware of when he's stressed or when something bad happens. How does he react? Just be aware, because this will be the same for every single day for the rest of your life with this man, for the rest of your life, and your children's for the rest of their lives. So be aware. Just be aware. Okay, number 4 is discipline predicts stability. Discipline. So super important. And I think us women should also have discipline. Of course, men lead the household. So, of course, most likely leaders, business, anything in life, you need to have discipline to be a leader. So men will need it more than women do. But I do believe you should meet your husband where he's at. So you should have your own discipline as well. It just, depends. Also, some guys don't need their woman to be super disciplined because they're going to be the lead that makes them disciplined, if that makes sense. Because if a man leads, and he kind of determines where the family's going. So the woman kind of just like follows and is the guide. So it's still possible for a woman not to have discipline. I'm just putting it out there that it is nice to have your own discipline and to master your discipline too. But for sure with men, he needs to be disciplined. And this literally predicts the stability of your whole marriage, your relationship, your marriage, raising children. Because if he is not disciplined, like it's going to be not as a smooth ride, and you might have a lot more obstacles in the future than you would like. Of course, these are all just talking points because you determine your future, you determine the father of your children. So, but for me, in order to have a really stable, like happy family with children that feel like stable in their home, like they don't want to be anywhere else. They're actually happy to come home to their loving, stable parents. That is this type of environment that I want for me, my husband, and for my children. So we need to know this off the bat, like in the beginning, like on the first call, like already. We don't need to even go on a first date. We don't need to waste their money or their time. We don't need to waste anyone's time. Literally, all this is just on a phone call, and you find out real quick, and you can determine your future. And remember, you meet people for where they're at, and you accept them. And once you accept them, they understand you accept them for truly who they are. And that's a beautiful thing, but you can't be going and changing them then. If you truly accept a man for where he is, then you need to, accept him for where he is. And that's just going to be your life. And then that's okay. You guys are going to take whatever obstacles come. It's going to be yours both to figure out and to experience together. And then that's the lifestyle. That's the life you want to live. There is a whole bunch of reasons why I could tell you why I feel like that can be not so good for your children's psychological being raised, because I've lived it. But it's just something you decide, I do believe discipline is just so powerful, and it just is there's so much self-control and leadership and, self-reflection and self-understanding that would make such a beautiful partner, a great husband, a great wife, to children who are growing up not sure where to go in life, but having stability and discipline in their parents is something that's rare. And I feel like they're going to appreciate you as parents and love you so much one day when they realized who you are, and realize how special that they were born into a family that did the work ahead of time before having children. And so that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm, touching upon to help you guys as well. I think we all should strive to find a man that's disciplined, because we'll know that it's going to be more stable of love and in a household, a healthy household. Observe, don't assume. So, as women, we tend to assume sometimes. This might be from childhood, from social media, who knows where it comes from, but we tend to assume things like, oh, because he's this and this is, oh, he must be like this. Maybe scrolling on their social media account, oh, because he's probably like this, I'm just going to write him off the bat. But Yes, maybe you have a theory, and this goes back to Thursday theories, which we did earlier today. We can have theories about things all day long, but is it a fact? No, it's a theory. So we don't let those theories and those assumptions cloud this man in front of us. Like, just because he doesn't have this type of like photos on his social media, or he does this, for a living or something, I don't know, certain things that like maybe he just doesn't picture perfect, it doesn't mean that inside isn't a leader, isn't disciplined, isn't a good man, like has good character. Like, I could, I see what you're saying because I'm a woman too. So I experience this myself, and I see where the side of it's like, if I assume, I protect myself and I save my time, because I'm the same way. I try to save my time and not waste time with men that are just not a match, right? So we try to just like, and I've done that. And usually I'm right. Usually end up finding out that I'm right. But sometimes there's rare ones that like you will allow to push through, even when you like are not assuming, you're observing only and not assuming. You just like, okay, I see this, I observe it, but like, I'm not going to assume he's this person. Let me just see. And you actually grow because you allowed yourself to not be so like this. And then you end up like growing and learning so much from that relationship, whether it works out or not. It actually was meant for you to talk. If it's on the phone, if it maybe was on a first or second date, like that happened for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And so it's best not to assume things and to really observe a man for his actions along with his words, more than like, the marketing. But at the same time, men who market themselves and, have their, followings and things like that, they obviously have some sort of discipline and consistency in some way to be able to get where they're at or whatever their job is. So this is all just for you to understand that like it's better to observe, but also like, not assume, because then the guy will feel that you're making assumptions, and you don't want to make a man feel uncomfortable about who he is and his character when you haven't even really asked, or you don't know him that well. And so you're just assuming these things, but you actually haven't even met him in person, right? So you wouldn't want a man to do that about you as a woman either. It goes both ways. Like, oh, like she doesn't have like her photos are like she doesn't like these other people, these other women have, and then just like, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want the same thing done to you. So it's like, let's just observe more than assume. And the last part, here are some affirmations for you guys to use to help rewire. I observe patterns. Actions guide me. I value consistency. Watch his life. And that is video 3, Girl Talk for Lover Girls. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, these are just short segments. This is my second day doing this live. Usually I'm behind closed doors. So bear with me as I get comfortable in the stage. I love you guys. I'm here for you guys. We're all ever learning and growing, but these are just major, major, major important things to consider when picking and choosing a man to go on a first date with. Let's just start there. And life partner on like all of that is down the line. Let's just like do this, understand this, master this first, so that like you don't waste time and waste their money and time too. We're just not even getting to the first date. If these things are not even there, he is not ready just yet. That doesn't mean that he's not ready in the future, which is why we don't assume and put negativity onto a man, because he can very well level up. And if I eventually coach him or he purchased my future program, he will level up, and then he would be your literally dream man. So we need to, just be ourselves and always, always talk in our feminine energy, and just be aware and end things on beautiful terms as human beings. Every single day we're not promised. So we can always be grateful and caring and and hope the best for other people. So how we leave the conversation is always love, always like I hope you find your person, and just always just never like those assumptions and those negative, or just, you know what I mean? Because you never know, like just because he's not your match right now, it doesn't mean that it just like maybe in the future he could be, if he grows. And maybe after talking to you, which is why I actually decided to do this as a job, because I've talked to like hundreds and hundreds, like thousands in my whole life, but in the last 3 years, and I've helped so many men just by having a conversation. So many men, like even just talking with them, they'd be like, you opened my eyes to so many things. I'm grateful that to even talk to you. Like that is the things I was hearing on the phone call. That's when I knew I needed to do this for a job, because this was just me being me just in life. And I was already getting so much feedback from men, and I was helping them like a coach, which is why I'm like doing this now. And it was just me being me. So what I'm trying to say here is just be a feminine, like good person. And they're, even if a man gets stubborn and annoyed and is like, well, I didn't want to like be with you anyways, that obviously shows his character even more. And that's one that you don't like, that's one that you, even if he tries to come back, that's not the one for you, because you already see how he treats people. You see what I'm saying? Human to human. But always leave things like just loving and hopeful, and manifest great things for people always, no matter where you are, no matter who you meet. And trust me, like you never know, someone that you might have talked to once on a phone call could circle back, like once you establish like what you were looking for, and then maybe he ends up leveling up, not even because of you, for himself, but like he ends up like getting influenced in some way, like almost like you were the inspirational coach or something that just like shook him, and he just like fucking thrived and leveled the fuck up. Like that is like a dream, right? Like you could inflict such like growth in a man that like he ends up just like becoming that incredible like just father figure, like leader that he was born and destined to be one day, and you just helped him in his journey to get there quicker. And yeah, and then it's like he could possibly come back, or you helped him for another woman. Either way, you're still doing good to society. And yeah, it's just beautiful, and it feels good to your heart too. But yeah, so of course, just do your checks and balances, wherever you find on the texting. And then when you feel like it's ready, then you pick up the phone. But yeah, this is video 3. Girl talk for lover girls. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.